Hey everyone, this is Eddie with Infinity Toys OKC, and this is my first ever episode of the Spotlight series for my vintage Masters of the Universe collection. And I figured, listen, if I'm going to do a Spotlight video series about this vintage toy line, which in my opinion is the best ever, the Masters of the Universe toy line, you know, I cannot start with anybody other than the man himself, He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. He is obviously one of the most recognized, probably one of the more iconic toys to have ever come out from the 80s. So I have to start with him, right? But before we begin, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Please go ahead and leave me a comment. And I will look to do more of these Spotlight videos in the future. So in the meantime, go ahead and sit back, relax, and let's look at He-Man after the intro. Okay, and welcome back. Like I said, since this series is going to be dedicated to vintage Masters of the Universe figures, I cannot start off this series unless I start them off with this guy right here. He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. But before I get to him, I did want to quickly look at, this is the new He-Man that came from the new Origins line that you can buy at Target, Walmart, and if you go to any of those places, you will see so many of these on the pegs right now. I don't think they can give them away. But what I'm really appreciative of these new toy lines, or I shouldn't say new toy lines, but these releases of these Masters of the Universe figures, is the fact is that it is introducing He-Man and the Masters of the Universe to newer generations. As an 80s kid, listen, this is one of the toy lines that I played with, and I played with a lot. But now you have the younger generation, they're starting to now figure out who He-Man is, who Skeletor is, and all the other great characters of this great toy line. So this is my carded He-Man that I have. He is not an 8-back, sadly. That is one of the grail items that I am still hunting for. He is a 12-back. As you can see, the 12 figures there. Now, this one, he was released in 1982. And he is in an acrylic case. He's not graded at all. And this has the original burst here. So this was the first release of the 12 backs. And I tell you what, if you can get your hands on a carded He-Man figure, do it. Because this is just becoming more and more valuable, and it is really skyrocketing value. What I see this carded He-Man go for nowadays, it is just unbelievable. Unbelievable what they're going for. And the history with this guy, I'll tell you the history. May upset some of you guys, but this was back in 2000, let me think here. About 2001, 2002, I had just graduated from college. So still, poor young guy. But this He-Man came across eBay, and I saw it, and it was a buy it now, believe it or not, of $100. And back then, listen, when $100 could have got me a whole bunch of stuff, could have put food in my fridge, whatever else, I decided that I was gonna use that $100 and get this guy. And I am so glad that I did, because obviously it's still in my collection and it has only gone up in value over the years. Now, let's take a look. I'm gonna pick up the camera here. As you can see, the bubble has slightly yellowed, but it is flawless. There's no cracks, there's no dents. The card, you can see that there is some edge wear. Nothing major at all. Because again, for a figure this old, you're gonna have to expect that. The biggest flaw, I think, is this corner right here where you can see a little bit of a crease. But again, like I said, it's not anything that's superly major, nothing that I'm really concerned with. There he is, the original He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. The figure, of course, has never been removed, so he is mint. You see all his accessories back there, the power sword, his shield, and of course his axe is back there somewhere. if we flip him over, like I said, this is the first release of the 12 back, so this is the one that had these little graphics in the back. There he is with Tila and Man-at-Arms. There, of course, are the 12 back figures, the Heroic Warriors. And of course, Skelly and his crew right there, including my favorite, Trackjaw. So really, really cool piece. And like I said, you're not gonna find a more recognized toy than this guy right here. And again, just in my opinion, just one of the most iconic toys ever. And here's the new one. I mean, yeah, is this cool? Yes, it is. But I mean, I do like the fact that they have a lot more points of articulation, but come on, there's no comparison. There's no comparison to the original, and that's the reason I always say, you know, vintage rules, because I truly believe that. And then over here, in this baggie, I actually have my He-Man that I had growing up. Now, I will say, sadly, just like with most of these loose figures, the leg band had dried up and had broke. So I do need to go order some and try to do some major surgery on my He-Man that I had growing up as a kid. Because again, as you can see, these rubber components, they had dried up and they had broken off. But this is my original He-Man. And my goodness, I took such good care of him. The joints are actually still very tight, you know, very minimal play wear or paint loss, because all my other toys, my G1 Transformers, my G.I. Joes especially, my Thundercats, man, I went to town on those guys. But my He-Man figures, I try to keep them as pristine as possible, because I just loved everything about this guy. And I think this is the version that had that belly button. Not entirely sure on that. I know there's different versions of He-Man, but I will tell you that I don't know if you can see it, but Mattel 1981. So this He-Man that I got, along with my Skeletor, were the 8-back He-Mans, from the 8-back series, because as soon as I saw them in the store, boy, I knew I had to have them. So, and of course my collection grew over the years. So anyway, there he is, the most powerful man in the universe, and one of the most iconic toys ever. And again, with this new toy line over here, what I'm really happy about, not only with this particular release, but I know there's all these new releases coming out. There's just going to be new generations of He-Man and Masters of the Universe fans. So that's just awesome. And I will say that if you do have any of the vintage figures laying around, hang on to them, because they're just skyrocketing in value. Not only the carded ones, but also the loose figures. So definitely hang on to them. So there you have it. You know, hope you enjoyed this quick video. This is my first showcase. I'll look to do others that I have in my personal collection. But in the meantime, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. That way you'll be notified anytime I do upload a new Vintage Masters of the Universe Spotlight video. So until next time, be safe, keep collecting, and although this is really cool, just remember, vintage rules. Take care.